welcome everybody to the next episode of the Lost Holocron podcast, where we are talking Ahsoka episodes 4 and 5 today. We missed you last week. There's a lot of life that was happening. I am your host, Didge, and with me, as always, is my panel of esteemed guests, starting with you, Trevon. Trevon, how are you doing today?
Doing good. We're gonna talk about these episodes. Episode 4 annoyed me. Episode 5 was pretty good.
I'm glad we got that quick one. One that was that one sentence recap. I like it. I like it.
We need to
I
hear no
can't
more
wait till
from
we
that.
expand on that. I can't. No, I want us to be able to expand.
I'm good.
And up next, Joel, coming off that great Giants win. What a comeback! How are you today?
I didn't start good, but it ended well. Like,
That's
yeah,
fair.
That's all that matters.
I'm in a good mood now.
Mhm. That's all we need. That's what we're here for. We want everyone to be in good mood. And speaking of good moods, not last but not least, Jamie, how are you today?
I'm doing well, pretty chill Sunday. Didn't have a whole lot going on, so I'm happy to be here chatting with y'all about some Ahsoka.
Yes, I'm glad to be here to talk with you guys too. This series has been a joy of mine. Some people have had their gripes and stuff. I think you just needed to watch Rebels, but then we're neither here nor there. Let's jump ahead and let's talk about episode 4. Like we all know, it's been a little bit, so I'll go ahead and give us a little quick recap. That way we can sort of hopefully to jog all of our memories because I know I would need mine jogged a little bit. So we'll just jump right on in. So the episode starts off with Ahsoka thinking about the implications of reaching Thrawn and Bridger, just sort of giving Sabine some pause while she determined to find, obviously, Ezra. Afterwards, they are attacked by Balin's forces, but they were able to get rid of them, and they were afraid that Elsbeth and Skull will acquire the coordinates to Thrawn's location. Ahsoka and Ren head to their base, but they're intercepted again by Hati. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Shin Hati.
Yeah.
And Merrick. Ahsoka kills Merrick. That's when that was when they had their duel.
Mhm.
And we'll dive deeper into that because of the way that what happened after Merrick died. And she continues on while Sabine has to continue to try to fight and hold off Shin, which they had a great lightsaber fight. Again, we'll dive deeper into that. During that fight, that's when Shin realizes that Sabine can't control the Force. But at the same time, Ahsoka's fighting Balin at that time. They're engaged in their duel. Another great duel. This episode. Now that I'm reading this, I remember this episode was a lot of great lightsaber duels. And Ahsoka, she is able to retrieve the map, but she tosses it aside after it burns her hand. Balin then overpowers her, sends her plummeting into the ocean, where Sabine is at the same. That's when Sabine grabs the map, and he manipulates her into handing it over, which is where Trevon was pissed off, apparently, because he was able to promise her that she'll see Ezra again. They were able to obviously. I mean, you knew that was coming. That's when they were able to reveal Thrawn's location. He destroyed the map, so they couldn't fight. They couldn't be followed. They board the Eye of Sion, and now they have Sabine as their prisoner. And then that's when the squadron, the New Republic. She was in chain, or she was in handcuffs, so I don't know what you want to call it. Prisoner volunteer. They're volunteer prisoner. We'll put it that way. That's when that squadron of New Republic fighters, they show up and they try to stop them from jumping into hyperspace. Very poorly, I might add. But they tried, I guess. And the episode ends with Ahsoka reawakening in the world between worlds, where she runs into Anakin. So before we jump into episode 5, let's just talk quickly about some of the stuff from episode 4, especially now that we are all a little bit more recapped and remembering.
Mm-hmm.
Joel, we'll start with you. What were your thoughts on this episode?
It was a good episode. That was a good episode. I like the fights that happened. It was interesting to see the dynamic of these. What are we calling them? The Fallen Jedi. I'm not really.
Yeah, I guess just Fallen Jedi. That's the name of the episode. So
Force users.
Yeah, they're more than Force users because
yeah,
they've been trained in the Jedi arts. So it's like
They would be me. Cause that's how it would be. I'm doing what I want.
orange or red.
All
Right, good or bad.
half evil Trevon over there.
That's it. If I'm gonna kill you. That's it. Okay.
Jesus. Okay.
That's it.
We're gonna have fucking Trevon coming in next week with yellow contacts.
Right.
Oh my god.
But no, I mean, I guess on some level they have to be. They can't be just pure Jedi because remember, even at the end when they had after they convinced Sabine to sort of join their side, so to speak.
Mhm.
Remember, she was trying to force choke her. She was about to kill her.
Yeah.
Mm.
So they're not just full on. They're not light side, but at the same time, they didn't really have the Sith eyes. So I don't know if you can just full on say that they're pure dark side. I
They're
think
not Sith, yeah.
Raven has some
Yeah.
honor. He has some honor in him.
Mhm.
They both
Yeah.
do,
The
because she
things
doesn't
she
seem fully evil.
She
or
tried to
anything.
kill her, but he's like, he stopped her.
They're not scared to kill.
Mhm.
That's true. I mean, neither one.
Yeah.
Obviously,
I
neither
kind of
one.
feel like he's gonna end up getting rid of Sabine at the end anyway, but I feel like if he was full Sith, he was like, don't even want to deal with her now. So
That's
Yeah,
funny.
he
I think
would've
he's
just-
gonna die. That's funny. I think it's all the way around. He's gonna get
I mean, he
killed.
could,
I
but I
see.
feel like I still feel like he's gonna take a shot at Sabine, trying to take her out.
that could be true. I mean, you got to figure his big battle, the big rematch between him and Ahsoka, have to happen.
Mm-hmm.
He
Like,
might-
so- Go
we
ahead.
know-
No, go ahead.
No, I'm not saying anything because I don't. We know his the real
know,
life
that's-
situation.
That's what's so sad about this is that he played such a great villain,
He did.
and you almost got to be like, man, I would love to see more of this character, but you just
Right.
know it's impossible.
It's
Like
impossible.
unless they recast,
Right when they
which
shouldn't.
I guess they could, but you really shouldn't.
Yeah, that's why I'm curious what his fate is. Did he? Because that'd be crazy if he dies, and you know what I mean. So there was no
Yeah.
future for the character anyway. So we'll see. I guess we'll have no choice but to wait and see how that plays out. But he is a very interesting character. He plays it really well.
I think
Yeah,
I have
he
an
played-
honorable death. That's what I think.
Well, yeah,
I-
probably.
I wonder if because what we know from just Shin's and like her interactions with Morgan Elsbeth, she still doesn't really trust her. So to that point of you saying that she would get or he would get an honorable death, could it be that sort of their relationship come to head and then he sort of defends her or whatever? So I'm really curious about that. Joe, do you have any more other thoughts on the episode? I know we kind of cut you off, just dove off into like tangents.
Nothing serious, nothing important. I remember the fights. I remember how it ended. I didn't know if like that end fight between him and Ahsoka. I didn't think she died. But
yeah, I never had the implication that she had died either.
yeah, I was like, oh okay, but I mean that's good for her, man. She
right.
She'll be coming back from it. So
I thought she just got knocked off. I assumed she was jumping back up to like whatever. So like the fact that it ended the way it ended, I was like, oh okay.
oh
Yeah.
But that's also why I don't blame Sabine for the situation because she's kind of shit out of luck, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's
what are her
more to it.
options? She's gonna die. or
Fight a
take it
little.
off her.
Pinch him a
Yeah,
little bit.
like,
She's
she could've
going
put up
to
a
die.
little
They
bit.
just beat.
He was just
Damn.
fighting that other
Ahsoka
girl,
in a
and she never
fight.
beat her. Like, might
She's
as well
not
try
beating
somebody
him.
else. Try your luck. Try your luck.
If she,
I get that.
At least he fights with honor. He might give you a little try. Damn, like try something.
he killed Ahsoka. You think he's not going to kill her?
Yeah,
He has a little honor though. He wouldn't like.
In his eyes, he
If
killed.
If
he
you want her to
definitely
die
killed
for that, that's fine. But I don't. I think she played
You know
smart.
what? I would keep this in mind, Joel. I see you get a fight in Comic-Con. I'm gonna walk away. I'm like, you know what? Joel got this.
I
He
mean,
don't
if
need
they
me.
have a lightsaber, I don't blame you.
They might have
Alright.
one. So-
You're at
If it's
Comic
life-
Con. There's a
if it's
very
life
good
or
chance.
death, I'm not asking
Yep.
you to jump in.
But I
respect
would,
it.
because we're friends. That's what friends
Well,
do.
just call someone.
But she
that can
was
help.
doing it so she could go see another friend, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
I agree. I think the main thing I get out of it is that the Jedi Order, they had a thing against attachments, but they are very horrible at following it. They get attached so easily.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's also one of their weaknesses.
It for sure is.
Look
But
at
we'll
Vader.
I want to hear your thoughts, Jamie. I know you and Trevon both were very hard on Sabine after the episode. I do remember that.
I don't know if I would say very hard. You know,
Oh,
I
you
feel like
both
it's-
called
it's
her
very-
immediate trash.
Well, if you see your friend walking away from you when you know you need help, for the chance of helping somebody that may or may not be alive, it's like what the hell?
She didn't even check over the edge. Damn.
I know, like
I-
she could have at least done
What did you
that.
want her to do? Hold it, like hold up, look off.
I mean,
Oh,
I don't.
Yeah.
She could have ran over something. She done something.
She's not getting away
At
from
least
that.
say like Ahsoka, like call out, like I don't know, do something.
Hey, you good? You good?
Yeah, like
No. She
Oh, she
trusted her
gave us.
enough to take care of herself. That's how I looked at it. Like, I don't
I
think she didn't think
guess.
she was dead. See, I didn't think she was dead. That's the thing. So I'm gonna have to imagine she felt the same.
I didn't think Ahsoka was dead, but I also didn't think she was okay because it was like that cliff looked really far down, you know. So I'm like, I
That's
don't think she was in the best.
My friend
Obviously,
didn't check
Fate
on
thought
her.
so too, but the Force looked out for her.
Yep. But no, yeah, I like this episode. It was very like dramatic, had some great lightsaber fights. And Sabine at the end, even though I don't like her decision, I feel like it further added to the drama because then I was upset. I'm like, why would she do this? Why would
fair.
she do this? So yeah, they pulled me in with episode 4 for sure. I enjoyed it.
That's good. And then to round us out, Trayvon, if Jamie's going to say she didn't think that she was hard on her, we know you were hard on
Ooh.
her. Let's hear your thoughts on this episode, and obviously we can hear your feelings about Sabine as well.
Oh, let's see this episode. So
Ah,
yes, the lightsaber fights are great. They're fun. They're always fun. You know, I enjoy those a lot. But it just annoyed me when Sabine. Okay. Let's talk about from first thing. Ahsoka keep cheating death. It's just
okay.
funny. She's in this world between worlds again, and somehow everybody keeps fighting me about saving Kanan. I don't understand, but I'm gonna keep bringing this up. So she right there. Grab him. You in there? Grab him. So whatever.
There's a
But
lot of
this.
people she could do that for.
I mean, they did it,
Anakin.
so she can do it. Throw Anakin across, throw him on the ground somewhere, and
That
please,
reminded me to
Why
bring
not
that up
bring
so we
back
could see your
Anakin?
save cannon.
save him,
See your save
save him,
cannon.
please. Um, I mean that she can do it. She right there. But anyway, like Sabine, it just annoyed me because she was like, "Oh, Ezra," I was like, "He lying, girl. Like, what you mean? He don't give a damn about no damn Ezra. Are you stupid? Like, he probably just like he just used. I don't even know why he did it because he has a little bit of honor. That's why he took her anyway. He could have just killed her right there. Like, you got the thing. You could have just killed her. I get he has a little bit of honor, but it's like, girl, what do you think they're gonna do with you? Like, they don't need you. Like, you're not
Right.
useful at
Yeah.
all. Like, you didn't even fight. You ain't even pinch him. You ain't slash him. Or look, nothing. You
Pinchum
ain't do
is
nothing.
crazy.
You ain't do nothing. I just thought about Players Club. You ain't even pinch the bitch. I'm just saying, like, you didn't do nothing. Like, you didn't even fight a little bit for your friend. You didn't check on your friend. Nothing. You don't give a damn about Ahsoka. I hope she realized that shit later on. Like, you
All
don't
right.
care about me. Like, at
Okay,
all.
so I got a question
Like,
for you, and you guys can all answer it. I was reading about it, and one of the theories is that Balin used the power of forced empathy to sort of manipulate her. Like, obviously, the power of force. You can use the power of force to just full on manipulate somebody, but he's using the forced empathy to really figure out what to say to sort of play on her grief, play on her emotions, play on some of her loss. Does that impact your
they're
opinion on
trying to
that
get her
at
a
all?
pass, and we ain't giving her that. No, fuck that shit. No, 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 no,
So that,
no,
that that means nothing to you if she was a
no.
victim of the. We know she's not great in the force, so that leads you to think that she might be susceptible to it. That means nothing to you.
I ain't giving her that. I'm
Mm,
not giving
I
her
don't.
that.
I mean, if that's what happened, they should have been a little bit more clear.
Yeah, I don't think that's what happened.
I mean, I
Mm.
don't know for sure. I'm just throwing out. I'm trying to see how redeemable do you guys feel Sabine is? According to
I,
Trayvon, it's over.
I don't. I
Ahsoka
don't.
smack,
Again, I don't
Ahsoka
blame her
smack
for
as soon as she
her
see her.
decision.
Smack as soon as she see her. One good
Who?
time.
Smack her as soon as she
One
sees
good
her.
time. One good
I
time.
don't even know if she I don't know if
You
she
don't know what
even
happened.
knows. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think she knows that Sabine willingly gave away the things. Even when and now we're gonna start diving into episode 5. Even when she looked at the Force Echo and she's sort of seeing a recreation of the scene, she just saw up to the point that Sabine got taken. Now I don't know if she just didn't want to tell Hera that, but from all inclination that we have as the viewers, we don't know that she even saw
She ain't gonna tell him. I can't wait. Spill the tea,
Mm.
shit.
it.
She be like, she gave it to us willingly. Tell him.
Yeah.
Let
I
him
mean,
have it.
see, here's the thing. I feel like Ahsoka, she's probably just gonna move past it and not really care as much as we care. But then Sabine will be like, oh my God, why didn't I check on her? Like, I'm a bad friend. And then I'm gonna be like, yes, you were a bad friend, but you can redeem yourself. You live, now you learn.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one because to Joel's point, she was either going. I don't know what how much she could have did. Like
She's fucked.
she was in a very bad situation.
She got the pew pews.
Oh,
Like
I wish that was all that
shoot a
was.
little, you know.
She at least
Only
shot
that.
that one time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She
like
shot it once.
shoot one, and then you stick you put the little grappling hook thing in the cliff, and you jump and you try and find Ahsoka.
There you go.
But then they still get the map.
At least she
I
didn't
mean,
give it to him.
she gave it up regardless, so
Well, now she has
it's
a.
like we don't lose anything.
All
I mean, at
right.
least we'll have Ahsoka if she rescues her.
Okay. So your point is you just wanted her to at least look for Ahsoka.
Yeah,
The
like
map be
we
damned.
all know she was gonna they were gonna get the map somehow, some way, or gonna follow them there. So we all know they were gonna get to where they were trying to get to, at any point. But the way that like Ahsoka and Sabine arrived there, she could have changed that. She could have changed that.
Okay. That's very fair. Before we start going into episode 5, is there anything else you guys want to bring up about this episode? I think we hit the major points, especially because of that cliffhanger ending. And by this point, I think we all want to talk about episode 5. But
Yeah.
I'll give you the floor just in case.
Literally a cliffhanger.
I
Right?
think just a quick point. I think that like that I don't know what planet that is or like what the location is, but
Cetos.
Cetos. Okay, so Cetos combined with like a lot of the lightsaber fighting, and I feel like the way that Ahsoka's fighting was choreographed, it felt very much like watching a samurai fight, which is kind of what Star Wars is. Yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like samurai with light blades, I guess. But I definitely felt it there, so it was really cool.
Yeah, it
Funny
definitely
you
had
should
that one.
say that. I think it was that episode, but it could have very much been 5 because I just saw the video recently about Dave Filoni talking about uh, how much influence that he was taking. Obviously, like you said, Star Wars overall is very much influenced by like samurais and all, and it just the whole Eastern
Mm-hmm.
just philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
But Dave Filoni specifically was talking about, and like I said, I can't remember if it's 4 or 5. So it could either be her fight with Balin or it could be the fight with Anakin. Just jumping ahead, but about how much those particular fights were influenced by samurai fights.
Some of
So
Balin seemed more like it to me.
Mhm.
and that's what I
Because
thought. That's why I thought it was that
she only
one.
fought with one blade, right, against Balin.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, for the most
she
part,
like held it back. Like it's
yeah,
hard for me to do on camera, but y'all know what I'm doing.
yeah. For the
Yeah.
most part, her fight with Anakin was with one blade too until the very end.
Right.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I think that's an overarching theme that'll probably always come up.
Mhm.
And I'm curious to see where they'll go with these last 3 episodes. But before we get to anything talking about the future, let's dive into episode 5. I will once again give us a quick recap. I think we all remember a little bit more of this episode, so I don't have to go as deep. But obviously, it picks up right where the last episode ended. Hera and the entire fighters, they're looking for Ahsoka. They notice that they're gone. They're trying to figure out what happened, and that's when Jason he senses that Ahsoka's in the world between worlds, the world between worlds, and then that's how we figure out that he has a connection to the Force, but
Mhm.
also we figure out that Ahsoka's not dead, which I think we all assumed, but just in case you didn't assume that and you were just like, damn, Ahsoka died. So
Mhm.
surprise, she's still alive. From there it goes in between. It goes like into Ahsoka's um sort of her vantage point, and that's where Anakin's sort of talking about how he's been watching her through the Force, and that her loss to Skull is based off of her unresolved guilt over what drove them apart. Um, they duel for a few seconds, then we get the fragments of her past during the Clone Wars, which is crazy. Something that I know a lot of fans have been asking for years. Um, But within those flashbacks, that's where you see that she's concerned about her legacy and that it's going to only be death and destruction. Um, because she's sort of realizing that her teachings from Anakin, they include his legacy as Darth Vader, and that means that everything that he taught her, she was afraid that it's sort of leading her down that same path. So she tried to refuse him, talking about she's not going to be held back by any of that. They duel again, and then that's where you get the understanding that she's not involved in Anakin's downfall and that she can choose her own legacy. She chooses to live, obviously chooses to continue fighting, and that's where she's rescued by the crew. And through that, that's where she learns that Sabine is with Skull. We find out that Hera's probably about to lose her status as general, and that they need to return ASAP because Leia can't really hold this off any longer. I don't know if you guys caught that when they kept saying General Skywalker or yeah, that's they're basically you need to be back. Leia can't really hold this off any much longer.
Yeah, I
Oh,
remember.
I didn't notice that.
Yep, and so when she continued to say like, well, no, they dispatched a fleet to pick them up,
Senator
and that's
Skywalker, right?
Senator Skywalker. Yeah, I think she was still senator at that time. That's when they detached a fleet to go basically force them back home. But Ahsoka recruited a pot of Purgle, and they jumped to go to hyperspace. And now, presumably, they should be going where Sabine, Skull, and all of them are to what Trevon hopes for is a big slapping. So, Trevon, we'll start off with you this time. Let me hear your thoughts on the episode and, some of your favorite moments.
I mean, I like the flashbacks. I think it's cool that they get to do stuff like that to show us, how it was. When she was so young and what she experienced, and
Live
now
action.
it's really cool that they did that. But it's really expensive. That's all I could think about while I was watching. I don't know how expensive this is.
I feel like they cut
This
some.
stuff
You notice how
That's why I was so.
smoky
I'm
everything
about to
was?
say that's why I was so
Yeah.
smoky.
Yeah. And then even his the de-aging that they were doing and all of that. It's really cool. Like that stuff is it's just that's what I know I'm supposed to be just enthralled to the show, but that's all I think about the technicality of it. I was like, well, how much this cost and how long this took and like how much can I was thinking about how much can he move? Like, is it like I don't know, it's weird. I don't know. But yeah, that's how I think. But yeah, it's cool to see that. It's cool to see her I guess she's so mellow, like you saying, she's very different from the show and not as high strung now. She's very chilled out. She's very I don't want to get mad. I don't want to get too hype about this stuff. I'm just trying to chill out, just swing my sword, and let y'all know I fuck y'all up if I need to, but I'm just calm, I'm chill. But and I enjoy it. I don't know this episode. I like when they do the flashback stuff. It's just cool to see, but I'm ready to get to the next one.
That's fair.
To be honest, I'm like, let's see what this place look like. Like, did y'all try to get so bad? And let's see. Honestly, let's get to Ezra because what episode is this? 4 or 5?
This is 5.
What we got? What we got? 2
8.
more? No, we got
3
8.
more.
It's 8. Okay.
Wow.
So we got a little time. So
yeah,
let's hope these episodes are long.
That's
don't
fair.
Need no 30 minutes.
Seriously, I agree with you on that. I mean, I do hope there's not a 30-minute episode. But I think the flashbacks sort of help explain sort of the way that she is. When you got to the point where she's talking about how she was so afraid that her legacy was going to be death and destruction because that's what her master taught her, and that's how his master was taught. Basically, she was brought up in a time of war. Essentially, she's basically been fighting a war her entire life.
Mm-hmm.
It does, I think, give an insight to why she sort of interacts with everybody else the way that she does, because she's actively was trying to fight against it. So I am really curious to see, now that she's accepted that's not her legacy just because it's her master's legacy, how does that impact her moving forward, and how does it impact her interactions with Sabine or Ezra if they find him, or whoever else. Like, what does that mean for her
Let the dark side in and smack the shit out of her ass when you see her.
I mean, she had Sith eyes at one point, so I mean,
just one good time. I'm not saying beat her ass. Just one good time. Like, bitch, you left me.
Right.
And that's it. And that's it. Like, that's it.
All
That's it.
right. I mean, I hear you. So, Joel, I want to ask you a question, specifically about Anakin, his interactions. Throughout the episode, he would constantly, you would see his silhouette. It would change to Darth Vader's silhouette, switch back and forth. He would come back with the red lightsaber, still be him. Take me to some of your thoughts about how they portrayed Anakin throughout this episode.
That was really good. That was very interesting. Like, I'm not a fan of this whole world between worlds gimmick.
Okay.
Overall, I don't understand it. I guess it's in her head. I like that at the end of it, she's kind of just floating in the water. The force kept her alive, and it's like cool.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if she just disappeared and popped up out of nowhere, like,
that would have been weird.
Yeah, so it's definitely in the force. She's like one with the force. Some type of weird thing that happens. So that I do appreciate. On the other hand, it was nice to see her interact with Anakin in that world. I guess it was life or death, and the fact that that's how seeing Anakin helped, I guess, keep her alive, because he asked her basically, do you want to be alive? Do you want to,
Yeah.
basically that. So that was basically it, and it was just the dichotomy of Anakin and Vader, because she only knew Anakin for the most part. She interacted with Vader one time, and that was the last time she was sent here to the first time she was in World Between Worlds, right? So like, which was another weird shit that happened then, and brought her back. Whatever that happened the first time, it happened again. So I did like all the visually. It was a great episode. It was visually a great episode. It was very fun to see, like, stuff we've been wanting to see for a long time. Like, a lot of people have been waiting to see Anakin in the Clone Wars get up that we remember seeing in the animated series. And same thing with having a young Ahsoka. It was really nice to see that. I kind of geeked out when we saw Rex. I know it was only for like a small bit, but I love seeing
right.
That. It was really cool to get like, oh look, a live action look at what we like that series of show because that show was really so good, really
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see them in that world in live action, and seeing him with the haircuts. Even they even changed the haircuts to match. I really appreciated that. So I love that, calling her Snips, all that extra shit. That was definitely all for nostalgia's sake.
Right? Yeah, for sure.
All Clone Wars, and it worked to perfection because everyone was freaking out about it. But aside from that, I mean, I thought it was a fine episode. World Between Worlds aside, I thought it was just a very well shot episode. I like the ending where the whole, what were they called? The space whales?
Purgles.
The Purgles. Because that was obviously something from Rebels. And like, as soon as I saw them, I knew they were going to use them eventually. Because like, that's exactly what happened. Like, how do you not go and do that again? Like, they don't know that, but we know that, right? They don't, right? I don't remember exactly how.
I think they did. I think Ahsoka knew. I don't think the entire, like, that's why the people who were like the fleet that was coming up, they were so confused because for them, they were just like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Like, they might have just saw them as animals.
Right, because I don't remember who was there at the end when the Purgles.
I to be honest, I don't either.
So I'm like, okay, so we'll see. And Ezra had that connection with wildlife, so I thought it was interesting, her connecting with them. And I love her saying, like, I don't know what he said, I just know that I have a good feeling about it.
Right.
Just I like that. So just confirming that she didn't actually talk with it or whatever. It's more of an emotional thing, right? So that was cool. And more Hera and Jason, that we obviously know he is connected to the Force in a way like his daddy before him.
Yeah, so that was something that was good. I mean, I think we all expected it, but just to see confirmation that, okay, you're at least, we know for sure you're Force sensitive.
Bring his daddy back.
More so than
okay, I was just about to ask, was his dad Cater?
Yeah.
Bring his daddy back. Thanks.
You didn't know?
No, I haven't seen Rebels, so I know little bits and pieces, but
I'm sorry.
That actually leads to my question for you, Jamie. As somebody who is just watching this series on just the strength of it alone, you don't have the historical.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Clone Wars,
right? Well, you saw Clone Wars, right?
Yeah, I did see Clone Wars.
Okay, so but you just don't have that connection to Rebels like the rest of us do. So
Yeah.
you're
There's a
just
lot of
watching
rebels
this
in this.
series. You're watching it just purely on the strength of this alone. How
Mhm.
did this episode go for you?
I liked it. I thought it was interesting, and especially with I mean, I feel like this episode, at least for me, had a much stronger tie to Clone Wars than it did to like Rebels. Even though like I said, I did not watch Rebels, so I don't know a whole lot
Sure.
about it. But seeing like Ahsoka like growing up during the Clone Wars and hanging out with Anakin was really cool. But I also thought that like seeing is his name Jason
Yeah,
Jace
Jason.
Yeah.
Jason seeing Jason like explore his connection with the Force was actually kind of cool and interesting. And I'm wondering how like will he play a bigger part in this series possibly, because I think like so Rebels has ended in the timeline before we get to Ahsoka, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like his potential I guess is kind of unexplored. I don't think he'll be fighting anybody in this series, especially not as Sabine wasn't fighting anybody. So like, I don't think he'll be fighting anybody most likely. But it'll be cool to see, I guess, just like what they do with him now that they know he's force sensitive. And I think it was towards the end of the episode that Hu Yang was saying like, "Oh, Jace, like you want to see the inside ship or whatever." Like they got like
Mm-hmm.
oh no, it was Ahsoka. Ahsoka was talking to him about like the training area inside the ship, so he went to go check that out.
Well,
So
Hu
maybe
Yang
we'll
also
see.
did at one, and I can't remember if it was 4 or 5. Or at one point, Hera did send him off with Hu Yang, and he was like, I can show you the ship. And he was like, oh, you got the training pod. Can you train me? He was like, no.
Yeah, that was
Like
5.
Yeah,
that was 5. Okay, yeah.
yeah. So maybe when he's a little bit older or something. But I think he could start with something simple like what Sabine was doing with trying to like move the cup with her mind. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like he'd probably be pretty good at that. Um, Yeah, I was also to Trayvon's comment. I was definitely thinking about a lot of the like VFX and stuff that was happening in this. I'm like, damn, this is intense. This is a lot. And I watched a video about VFX like earlier today, and it was about the like shining scene with like all the blood that comes out of the elevator.
Oh yeah.
And the dude talked with like somebody in Hollywood, like how much would this scene cost to shoot today? They're like probably around like $50,000 or something. And if it's like $50,000 just to like practically have some blood come out of an elevator,
I'm not
eh,
gonna lie, that sounds kind of cheap to me though, knowing how much some of these other VFX
well,
stuff.
it's just blood coming out of an elevator though,
That's fair.
like at the
That's
shining scene.
that's
Yeah,
fair.
the VFX he said it was like it would be about like $15,000 or something, which is like that's the better alternative, I guess, if you don't have as much money. But just imagining that, but on like a Star Wars level, is like that had to at least been like a few $1 million, and that
Seriously.
like 15-20 minute sequence, which is crazy to think about. But no, yeah, it was really cool to see like them back in the Clone Wars and the way they interacted. It was also like slightly jarred for me to see how big Ahsoka was compared to Anakin. Like it seemed like she was like really like a little kid. And in the show, it seems like she's more of like a teenager, or at least I don't know, someone who's like a little bit older. Not to say that you should like be in a war when you're that young or whatever, but to bring a child into war, like that's kind of crazy. Like who approved that?
So that's the Jedi Order for you. I mean, you got to figure Ahsoka was probably
Kanan was young too.
teen. Yeah, I was gonna say they were both for sure teens.
Mm,
Um, I think because I want to say Anakin might have been early 20s, if
maybe
anything,
she was just short then.
but
I
that's
don't
what I was
know.
gonna say. I think it's a lot more jarring because it was live action, and so
Yeah.
you can put more of a idea. Like, even though obviously she's in all of that makeup and stuff, but you're like that
Hmm.
face is the face of a child,
Yeah.
He was like,
and
fuck. I don't remember how old Anakin was in Phantom Menace.
that's what I'm trying to see. I think I want to say in Phantom Menace, obviously the first he was 9 when he first.
Oh, so he was like 19 then.
So yeah,
That's
so
that's
I
10
thought it was a
years.
10 years. Yeah. So by the time you got to, and I don't remember what the time jump, and if there even was one from
2 to 3?
episode 2 to 3.
There was.
So then that's
3
why I
years?
said early 20s.
Yeah, 3 years.
3 years. Okay, so yeah, so 22. So he's very
Clone
young.
Wars took place between 2022 BBY and 19 BBY.
Okay, So yeah, 20. So you're figuring 20 to 22. She was probably 14 or 15. So
That's crazy, man. That's
it's
crazy.
like I
It's
said.
also.
I'll go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's also weird to think about like him teaching somebody else, and I'm like, you're only like, how young are you? Like, what do you know? What can you teach?
But
Like,
that's essentially how the Jedi Order was, and that's why I think one thing that you sort of understood going through seeing the prequel series and just going through everything is that you realized how flawed the Jedi Order was in their teachings. Like you were literally creating child soldiers, especially when it got to the time of the Clone Wars, because these people they're having their Padawans out on the battlefield with them, and like you said in the case of Anakin, he's 22 with the 15-year-old Padawan. Let's
hmm
just that's crazy. Like those are literal children out there.
yeah, everybody's a child right
We gotta
there.
talk about the actress that played young Ahsoka too. She's also a young Gamora.
Yeah, the
And
actress.
Oh
That's
dang!
the other thing. She's
Oh, that's
also
funny
she was
actually.
also in Barbie.
Yeah,
Her agents are killing it.
Damn, yeah, they are. Good for her.
Like,
good franchises.
Well,
Marvel,
right.
who was she in
Star
Barbie?
Wars. The main little girl.
Yeah.
The main little girl.
The oh, I see, I see, I see. Dang! Wow.
Her agents are like, get you that money so I can get me that money.
Yeah, yeah. Damn.
So
Good for
yeah,
her
no,
then.
definitely shout out to her for getting the bag. I'm curious to
yeah,
see where she's gonna go from here. If you're already getting roles like that, where you're at now,
Yeah.
you're probably the sky's the limit.
See, but like, Oshi no Ko, which is like an anime about like this girl who wanted to be an idol. Then it's a lot. But there's one of the side characters is like a girl who was a really famous child actor. And then when she became like a tween, people stopped hitting her up for like projects and stuff. They're like, oh, you're like not really a kid anymore. So you're not cute. Bye. Yeah, that was pretty much how it ended.
it's
So
just,
hopefully that won't happen to the actual actress in real
She's
life.
also
it's just
supposed to be Tiny Tina in the upcoming Borderlands thing.
Oh
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
dang!
yes, she is.
I was just
Wow.
about to say
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
I
Oh my
saw that when
god.
I saw the thing about her other thing. That was the last thing they had on there.
and
Interesting.
she's voicing
That's
Velma
crazy.
in whatever the Scoob
So
movie
like
is.
she's getting her money, which is
Yeah,
shout
she's
out to her,
busy.
Okay.
Wow.
She is. Yeah, she's got work.
right?
Yeah,
Good for her.
she's more put together than I am. Damn, that's
I wouldn't
crazy.
say it like that,
I'm
you know.
jealous. Yeah, I get
But
it.
before we get out of here, I want to talk about the implications of the Anakin, the Vader Anakin. I guess it's the best way to put it, but he's not in the suit, and how
Oh.
crazy that would have been if we could have got that in live action. How much now I want a Star Wars What If series
Ooh.
where it's you obviously in the same vein of a Marvel What If, and how just
Okay.
exploring some of those different stories that the fans have been asking about, it just in a non-canon way. And like, would you guys be here for a what if story if we got like a what if Luke and Vader both fell to the dark side, like when Vader asked Luke to join him on the dark side, or if Anakin and Ahsoka both would have went to the dark side, or if
Mhm.
Anakin would have stayed on the light side. Like they're not gonna be evil, I guess.
Yeah, they do, and I'm here for that.
I I
Uh,
definitely would be down to see like a Star Wars What If. I feel like same thing with Marvel What If. I was very excited for it, but then the questions that they were asking, like what if freaking I don't even remember. What if Thor didn't have a younger brother or something and he was pretty much the same? I'm like, let's ask something that's actually going to change something that actually be interesting. Like don't just make a what if just for like a cash grab. Like do something actually interesting. Otherwise like don't do it. Just don't do it.
That's fair. I do feel like comics do better at what if than TV shows,
So
just based off of the
far.
ones that we've gotten.
Yeah.
Like the Marvel what if comics went way deeper, and like the DC, I think there's just Tales of the Dark Multiverse. I guess that's their essentially their
Elseworld.
what if.
They're called
Uh,
Elseworld. Like,
well, not to it, I guess. Yeah, Elseworlds, but that specific run where they had what if when Lois became the Eradicator essentially after Superman died, like
yeah.
that's essentially still another what if version. Those seem they
What
seem
if
to go
Pietro was really Pietro?
Go ahead, repeat it, Trayvon.
What if Pietro was actually Pietro in
Pietro.
In
WandaVision?
WandaVision.
Oh, it's
Oh,
not Pietro. That's why.
No, but
Yeah,
it's just as I'm saying. He
if
wants
it
his
was
what if to be what
actually,
if.
Oh, that
What
would
if?
suck.
well, she literally pulled him from the X-Men universe, like, or something. Like, the implication
You
is
gotta
that.
wait for Secret Wars. You want stuff like that.
That is
Mm.
true. That should be
I
I'm
don't
coming
trying to
know.
get it.
soon.
I'm trying to get it early. We can get the movie to 2030 at this point. So, like, try to get it out.
If you want what
I
you want, you gotta wait.
you gotta go out there and help those strikes and get those reverted.
I can't
yeah.
help them. I can't help them, man. They they want their
Yeah,
money.
go get a sign. Go
Right, go
pick
out
it.
there and join the picket lines.
I can help a different way.
All
There
right,
you go.
well,
I mean,
help in a different way.
Anything
yeah,
helps. I guess.
yeah.
Gotta be a little bit.
Them men need something. That's their problem.
Oh my
Yeah.
God! All right. So before
Uh,
last thing, as we get out of here, that statement may or may not make the final episode. I'm leaning towards not. But before we get out of here, I just want to get a rating from you guys of the series so far, 1 to 5. How are you feeling with this season so
Oh.
far? And we'll start off with you, Joel. 1 to 5. What you got?
Probably like a 4. I'm really
Okay.
liking it. I'm not a fan of like the not so Sabine being kind of forced into being a Jedi. I don't feel it feels forced to me.
I
Mm,
kind of agree with that.
It doesn't fit naturally. And, maybe they don't want they doing that because we have enough Mandalorian action going on. But like
probably.
that's what makes her special. She was a Mandalorian before, and we all enjoyed it.
Mhm.
I did like when she had the dark saber at that one point, but they took
Right.
away from it. What do you want to do?
Oh.
Sorry. God damn it! I'm sorry. I
No, you're good. I have no
Ooh.
plans to watch Rebels
No,
at the
you
moment.
should watch
No, you
Rebels.
They
should
probably,
definitely watch
Listen,
look, they
Rebels.
probably gonna give
people are
another.
telling me to watch 50 different things, okay? It's Naruto,
They gonna
okay?
do a
It's
flashback.
Naruto.
She gonna see the dark saber probably at some point. So
Nah,
she gonna see
damn
it.
it. So
They're gonna
sorry.
do it.
On
No.
that note, are you? I'm sorry, Joel. Were you finished? Did you have more?
Nah, that was it.
All right. So on that note, then Jamie, what are you giving it 1 to 5 so far?
1 to 5 is tough because I'm gonna sound like a hater. I'm putting it at 3. I'm
Hmm.
putting it at 3. I feel like the first
Just
couple
being nice.
episodes. No.
She wanted to say 1.
No. It's like only reason I put it at 3. I feel like these past couple episodes, I would say like 4 or 5. But the beginning of the series for me was like kind of slow, and like I know I mentioned this in the I think first couple reviews for like those first 2 episodes, but it was kind of an adjustment period for me, like learning who Ahsoka is now versus who she was in the Clone Wars. Because coming off the Clone Wars, she was like a very different person, and so I kind of had to adjust my expectations there. So that's why I was like a little bit bummed out to say like, oh man, she's an adult now, like she's mature. Boo. But
That's
now
how
that I
that's
Wait,
how
That's what
everybody is when they become an adult. You're like, man, you were so happy-go-lucky. Then
you
I
you
didn't
know
see
you
that
slowly.
were
in
cool
you didn't see her in the
before.
other, you didn't see it in the other show.
Rebels, she was more mature, yeah.
In
No, I mean
like
like
Like,
Mando,
Mando. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, she saw
I
her dexter.
did, but I don't know if I was like really recognized how different she was, or if it was
Hmm.
just the situation. But now it's really, I guess, it's sunk in fully. And I'm like, oh, I see.
Oh man,
Um,
you became one against the world. You just hate everything again.
I don't hate it. I was just saying I had
No, that's
to
what I'm saying.
like,
That's what you think of. That's how you're thinking of Ahsoka. Like, oh, you're
oh,
just like everyone else. You hate it all.
yeah. I mean, for kind of coming off episode 5, I kind of see like that light in her eyes again, and she's very much like, like I don't know what the Purgle said, but we're just gonna do it. Like screw it,
Mhm.
why not? So I kind of see a little bit of like that teenage slash like young Ahsoka coming back. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I put it at 3. I feel like the first couple episodes were like a little bit slow, but now I'm really getting more invested in the show. And I'm excited to see episode 6.
Fair enough. Trayvon, before I round us out, let's hear yours. 1 to 5. How are you feeling so far?
4.5. The
Ooh.
only thing that annoys me about this show, I don't mind Sabine, doing lightsaber stuff. I just don't. I feel like she need to be slapped next episode. But I also think they've been just stretching out the Ezra thing a little too long for me. Like, I was just
Okay.
like, other than that, like lightsaber fights have been amazing. I mean, it's
That
cool
is
to see
true.
her again. That's like the only like real two things that really annoy me about this show so far. It's like y'all been teasing Ezra for like 5 episodes. Chill out. And we saw like a little thing of him and a little like, come on, stop playing
Yeah,
with me.
like a few times
Yeah, stop
we
playing
saw
with
Right.
me. Like,
that.
That's
and
fair.
yeah, and I just didn't like that she didn't check on Ahsoka, and I feel like Ahsoka got to like look at her like, girl, I'm disappointed in you or something. Like
Like, girl, what
I
the
want to feel it a little
fuck?
bit. She cannot get away with this. Okay, you cannot
And
just
she
let her
might
get away
not.
with it.
We don't know
I
necessarily
feel like
what'll
she
happen when
will.
they.
The
I
way
feel
it
like
ended.
if anything, Sabine will be harder on herself than Ahsoka is on her.
Well,
And
let
does
Hera
that
know
mean
so Hera can go
anything?
off then. Let Hera know shit. So
All
let
right.
somebody know. She need to be scolded a little bit. Just
All
a little
right.
bit.
Fair enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough. I echo your statement.
What
I
about
will also.
Jason? The scolding from Jason. It's like,
That'd be
how could you
wild.
do this?
That
Oh
that'd
my
be wild. Because it's
Yeah.
like, how did you know?
Yeah.
god!
Yeah, break her down, make her cry. Break her
Damn.
down.
Jesus.
Yeah. No, I'm
All
saying
right.
if he did it, it'd make her
Oh,
cry.
I was like,
Man, she'd
Jesus.
be like, how could you let her go off the cliff and then save? Like, can you imagine? Ooh.
That would be crazy.
She's like, he's right. Ah.
No, I'm gonna echo Trevon's statement. I do also give it a 4.5. I've been thoroughly impressed with this series. The lightsaber fights have been amazing.
Yeah.
The flashbacks, even the
Mhm.
way that they did it this past episode, were great. I love how, and granted, I get it was for budget, but I love how everything was sort of smoky and like it almost felt like she was sort of clouded in how she wanted to remember Anakin. I think it played thematically well because you would see
Yeah.
the Anakin silhouette, it would flash to Vader. You would see the Anakin silhouette with the red lightsaber, and it was just it almost felt like she was coming to grips with, well, how do I reconcile my master? And the way that it played out and led into just the, well, I can build my own legacy, and to what Jamie said, seeing the light back in her eyes, seeing the more carefree nature of it. um I think it's some of the best Star Wars that we've gotten in a while, and so I'm glad that we're getting back to it. And Dave Filoni we definitely trust,
True.
so I'm fully excited for the last 3 episodes. Don't make them 30-minute episodes. Don't make them even 40-minute episodes. Give me hour epics each time, and we'll be here.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna get that hour,
I don't.
but
I
hope
don't
for
know
the
if we're gonna
best.
get that either, but if you don't
Hope for
throw it
the
out there,
best.
nobody will say anything.
Exactly.
You got to
Exactly.
speak it into existence.
Yep. That's right.
So all right, we will pick this up next episode. But before we get out of here, please, everyone, let's go around and tell where people can find you and what is the thing that you want them to support the most. Jamie, we will start with you. Where can the people find you?
Sure, yeah. So for the most part, you guys can find me at swiper_prime. I'm there on YouTube and Twitch. Twitch, I actually just started streaming Starfield. It's not gonna be a full playthrough. I'm just seeing, what the buzz is all about, whether it's like trash or god tier, like people are saying. And on
Those are the two.
YouTube,
Those are the two dichotomies too.
It
People are
is.
either saying it's
honestly, yeah.
trash or god tier.
Yeah. And on YouTube, I am finishing up Tears of the Kingdom. I recorded a couple hours between today and yesterday, and
Whoop, whoop.
oh my god, wow! The next 3 weeks, y'all just got to stay tuned because it's getting crazy. It's getting awesome. It's kind of making me like that itch I had at the beginning of the game. I was starting to get it back. I'm like, damn, I just gotta keep playing. Like this is so cool.
Okay, okay.
But yeah, that's mainly where I'm at right now.
Nice. Can't wait to see those videos. Joel, where can the people find you and what do you want them to support?
Me to support me and everything I do.
All right.
Which is
That's
this. That's all I do is this right now. I don't do much of anything else. At least not online.
fair.
Yeah, so I'm on P's podcast a lot of the time, and that's my tag right there on Twitter mostly, on Instagram the same one. So yeah, that's where you can find me if you really give a fuck. If not, don't look.
No, we want them to give a fuck. We're glad to have you here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Trayvon, round us out. Where can the people find you and what do you want them to support? Tell them about Nerds with the Tech is coming soon.
Yeah, you can follow me on I guess everything. It's that same name, except for TikTok is underscore the end. I'm gonna find you. Anyway, but yeah, so
I might have to cut that just for like.
I'm just like, it was just a joke. Come on.
For
But
legal
yeah,
reasons, it is a joke.
it is a joke.
Right, I'm gonna leave
Yeah,
that in. I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna make sure to highlight that part first.
Tweet save Kanan. And let's see. Eventually, I don't know. Just say
I've been
it.
there for 10 years. We're good now.
Well, you never know.
Save
You
him.
never know.
I don't know. I'm thinking about making more videos. I don't know yet. They're just
Yes.
trying to make me do it.
Yes.
Everybody trying
We
to
are
do it.
100% trying
Do
to.
it.
We'll see. Follow and find out.
There you go. Follow and find out. That is the perfect way to end that. You can follow me at Didge_D that is. You can follow the podcast at GeeksetPodcast, where we do put all of the information from the Lost Holocron podcast, our flagship Geekset podcast, the one-on-ones with Deuces. I feel like I'm missing something, but just follow Geekset Podcast. You'll see all of it. You could join our Patreon, patreon.com/geekset, where you can get live rewatches, a bunch of different stuff. Go to the Patreon. It tells you all that. I'm not here to read the script. I didn't even write out a script. This is just off the top of my head. Join our Discord. You could talk with us. The Black Geek documentary is still in full effect. We're preparing for our hero interviews in Los Angeles. There's more information for that coming soon.
Yep. Let me know when you need my interview, Didge.
I got you.
Yeah, talk with my agent.
Your agent? Oh God. Who is your agent? I'll make sure to reach. Oh God.
Oh gosh. Trevon.
We'll see how well that's gonna work out.
Yeah. He handles all my business.
Okay. I might be twitching soon. I still got to get these horror games started. I got Signalis downloaded. I just got to pick a day, like Jamie said. Life's hard, man. It's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Same.
But
year's wrapping up.
I know it's crazy.
It's crazy to think we're more than halfway through September. I'm like, my birthday was like last week, wasn't it?
I swear it's crazy. But just, follow me on somewhere social media and you'll get updates. More than likely, one of these four will be here. One of these three, I guess I should say, because I'm the fourth. But one of these three will be with us. You hear that, Joel? I might be forcing you to join these horror streams. But until next time, we are out. We are out. Peace.
See ya.